Here she is, by the way. Hello and welcome back to my channel with a new video. I know it's been a while. I had a few reasons for that. Main one, some people might have noticed that I deactivated my Instagram account. Not the one for the channel. I used to promote my old one and I deactivated it. I've been getting lots of people that trying to hack it. I'm not sure if it's the same person or different people. My email and my Instagram account, a lot of times they've not been hacked but almost there, and it kind of freaked me out, and it was happening a lot in the last few months. It was a bit strange because I don't have that big platform. It's really small, so I was a bit confused if it's because it's from YouTube or why was the reason. I decided to stop posting a bit to see what's the reason, if that was it or not. The hacking stopped for sure, but then I decided to deactivate my account. I felt that was the best solution for this. That was the main reason why I stopped posting for a while. It freaked me out a bit because it was happening a lot. Okay, so this topic, I've been wanting to talk about it a lot, but I always try to hold myself. I always try to hold myself from talking about it. I've seen this getting worse. It has been a big issue in the past, but I think with time it's getting worse in Lebanon, and it's getting bigger and a bigger problem, and I've seen it getting worse and worse and worse. It's about connections. I know connections, it's not regarded as something negative in here. It's something like whatever, like if you're a good, for example, if you're a good artist or I don't know, good accountant or whatever you do it in your life, you can get a job being good at something, and you also can have connections to help you out to find a job, but you have to be good to begin with, right? You have to be skilled, you have to be good at what you do. In Lebanon, that's not the case, unfortunately. How you translate really connections in Arabic and Lebanese, I don't know if there's like a specific word for connections, but it's called wasta. It means a very negative thing. Why it's a negative thing? A lot of people in Lebanon, they do not have the skills, or they might not be talented in some specific things, but they get the job just because they have connections. It's been an ongoing problem in the past, and actually that's one of the biggest reasons I left Lebanon. I made a video about why I left Lebanon some time ago. I'm not sure if I tackled this issue specifically in that video. Why I left Lebanon, one of the main reasons is that you can't really do anything without connections, without having connections in Lebanon. And I've seen this the hard way in the past and in my childhood. I've seen how my parents lived in Lebanon without having any connections or anyone to help them. And my dad is a doctor, I still talk as if he's here. My dad was a doctor, and my mom, I mean, she's a teacher, but she graduated in a very important university in France called Sorbonne. She got admitted by a scholarship, which is huge. That means she's really talented at what she does. Needless to say, my dad is a doctor. He's a good one. You can trust me on that. He was a really good doctor. A lot of his patients always thank him, and I don't believe he did anything wrong to anyone. He wouldn't do any surgeries if they were not needed. He will straight tell them, like, you don't need the surgery. He's not that kind of doctor that will tell you you need a surgery just to get money out of you and you don't need it. With that in mind, we struggled a lot with my dad being a doctor And my mom, who has her master's, she could have taught in universities. Basically what happened, my dad could not find any jobs for almost 10 years. And when I tell people here, what's funny, when I tell people here that my dad actually was a doctor, they always think that we live in a castle or like in a huge house and we're so rich. And it was actually the opposite. I think the time that he really began to like do some work when I was maybe 13, 14. But all my childhood he was almost at home. He could not land a job in any hospital because he did not have any connections to get him where he wanted. They always took the people that had connections versus people that had not. We just lived in this very small apartment and in a very average low neighborhood. I didn't even have a bed till I was 23. I used to sleep on the floor for almost 22 years. I never had a bed for the majority of my life. I shared a room for almost all my life. First time I had a room and a bed was when I was 23. I shared a room with my two brothers. It's a very, very tiny room, let's tell you. I new clothes maybe once or twice a month, and a lot of them were used. So yeah, it was not the richest life, but I mean, I'm not gonna complain, we still had food. I'm gonna say my dad did his best, but my mom was the one actually paying for school. We attended, actually it was expensive school, now it's very expensive, but at the time it was not cheap. And they really regarded education as something super important that they needed to spend the most money in. And I think we got a really great education even though the school was crap. We used to just spend most of their salary on school. Seeing my dad being a doctor and my mom who almost had her PhD in a very, very known university in France and still struggling to that extent in Lebanon, it made me think that you can't really do anything without having connections from politicians, from really higher ups, from maybe if you want to you know, get a job in a university, you have to know someone who's really also, you know, maybe the director of the university or someone really important that's working in the university. And it made me feel like, why am I in this country trying my hardest, trying to get in the best schools? I noticed no matter like what education I get, even if I get my master's degree, even if I get my PhD, I'm not gonna get a good job unless I have connections. I'm gonna start talking about something that I really avoided talking about, but I think it needs to be talked about, which is the entertainment world in Lebanon. I think that's the second most corrupted system, I don't know what you call it, in Lebanon. You have in politics and then you have the entertainment world. I can't speak today. I'm gonna tell you from what I heard from people like producers that want to get into the entertainment world in Lebanon. I'm gonna tell you what I've heard. I've heard that the entertainment in Lebanon is unbreakable. You cannot get into it unless you have connection. You have really good connections. If you're a great actor, if you're the most talented person in the whole Lebanon, you cannot get into any movie, any series. Actors and actresses and producers that work in Lebanon, they only get people that they know, people that they worked with, people from family, I know a friend that he had his uncle as an actor. He was like, oh, how about you joining me and act? And that person had zero experience. He was, let me tell you, he was not a good actor. Just because his uncle was an actor, he was invited to be just in a movie without any casting, without anything. It's very corrupted. He was a friend of mine. He actually is a very good director. He's very passionate. He loves making movies. I've seen some of his work. It's really good. He tried a few times to, get into producing in Lebanon, maybe get a gig from, have a movie or just being an assistant or anything like that. He would not get in. No one would accept him. No one cares. If you look at all movies in Lebanon, all series, they are the same names written all over again. You see the same actors, you see the same people, you see the same producers, you see the same writers again and again and again. And it's actually boring. If you see the same ideas, no new faces, no new fresh ideas, it's the same people. If you ever watched a Lebanese series, it's either comedy, drama, or romance. Occasionally action, occasionally, but those mainly are the few genres that they dip their toes in, because there's no new people. I think the entertainment world has really a huge role in promoting a country, and promoting what we do, and it can really help elevate us and help us in this crisis that we are going through. Having the same ideas and the same people is not letting us get forward. I hold them accountable for not moving our country forward in that area. And I've seen movies and series really elevating a country. For example, you have Squid Game. Do you know how much that brought tourists to the country? Do you know how that helped the economy in South Korea? But I think it's gotten worse that producers in Lebanon are not even casting Lebanese people anymore. If you look at any Lebanese series, it's mostly non-Lebanese people in there. It's very sad. A lot of, especially male Lebanese actors, are not getting casted anymore. They're not getting the roles anymore. And a lot of them are struggling even to eat, to find any job, to even pay rent. And some of them are really talented. And now they're giving those roles to non-Lebanese people. Just maybe they had connections, they're more famous. I'm gonna see if I can find that video of a Lebanese actor that is really struggling now because no one is casting him. No one is giving him any time of day. He's one of the rare good actors. But why he's in that situation? Because he has no connections.
أيام كيف تبرم. الحب الحقيقي هذه كانت شركة ركان. هلا صرت عم بشتغل سيكيورتي هون. كيف الدولاب بيبرم.
Not anyone that he knows that can help him out and give him a role. And I think the entertainment world in Lebanon can be way better than it is now. I mainly don't watch a lot of Lebanese series. I've been avoiding saying that because I don't want to paint a bad picture about the Lebanese, the movies in there and the series. I want people to watch, of course. I want to help my country, but at the same time, if you don't talk about the problem, it's not going to get better. If we always ignore the problem, it's just not going to get better. And I think someone needs to talk about it. I think Lebanese people do talk about it between themselves, but they don't publicly talk about it. Kind of sad that I don't see Lebanese people even in Lebanese movies and Lebanese series. And I'm like, we have talent too. Where are they? And I see them struggling. I'm like, why aren't we giving the people that are struggling the roles and the opportunities and the chances to get successful? And it really is bothering me that we're giving the people that are already there, they're already famous, that have the money, they have a lot of money, and we're giving them even more ego and more money just because. And I blame the producers in Lebanon and the system there that don't want to give the chance to other people to get into that world. It's just unbreakable. And it's not just the entertainment. It's all over Lebanon, but it's really like concentrated in that in that area. I'm seeing even more people struggling. I think at some point I also felt like tired of saying that it's getting worse, and it gets to you mentally that it's not getting any better. I know a lot of people in here that might say, oh, US is kind of the same. No, it's just not the same. You won't see the difference till you go there. It's just not just me. I hope in US we don't get to this point that we need connections to anything, to everything. For example, I got my job without any connections, and that's the thing. In Lebanon, I lived 20 years, and we were still in the same place. In the first 2 years, 3 years that I lived in US, we got so much out of it. We got so many opportunities. It's hard, but I don't think it's as hard as in Lebanon. When you live in a country that is so corrupted and that is so bad, and you come here, you're like, thank God. And I think that's what happened to me. And I'm way more confident here in my work than I was in Lebanon. If you can't find a job, your self-esteem also just goes down, and you're like, feel like you're worthless at some point. You need even connections to get healthcare. I know someone that his dad was about to die. He started calling politicians to get his dad in a hospital. You can't even get in a hospital unless you have connections. It's impossible. You can't get in there. So basically in Lebanon, if you don't have connections, you die. Even in school, I felt that I was treated differently because I didn't know maybe the teachers well, because I didn't connect with the director, that I didn't connect with people higher up. And I was treated very badly because of that. While other people that, you know, the director knew one of the students' moms, she acted like almighty and amazing, and she can do anything wrong just because she even had connections in school. You're treated up like trash from childhood just because of that. So yeah, sorry again, it's been a while. I'm gonna try not to be so paranoid about, you know, people trying to hack my accounts. And sorry for the people that thought I blocked them on Instagram. I just deactivated my account. Nothing personal to anyone. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for the people who reached out thinking I was dead. Thinking something was wrong with me. I'm okay. I'm as okay as I can be. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.